so yeah, by myself. What do you say? To say, give it a handshake. To say, we give it a handshake. They are taking pictures together. Taking pictures together.
Retaking.
Some people may think so.
Oh yeah, it was a good fight. It was a very, very good fight.
Maybe because of science and some opportunity. But what you say, any genie woman, any genie
And I think we should find that. So I'll work with place and let's find out. Well, as we indicated today, the business of this meeting should focus on the budget for the first 3 months of 2025. And then the MPP caucus must recognize that the Ghanaian people have voted to reset this country. They voted against all of these crony tax waivers, which is just not in the national interest. I mean, President Akufo-Addo took office promising, read his first State of the Nation address, that he was going to deal with this abuse of tax waivers, and that tax waivers have been a drain on national revenues. So what has changed? I mean, there's no way we are going to support over $350 million in tax waivers to their crony companies. I mean, these are the things Ghanaians voted against: state capture, cronyism, nepotism, things that, I mean, you keep imposing excruciating, obnoxious, nauseating nuisance taxes on the ordinary Ghanaian. Then those who can pay, corporate Ghana, a selected few, just about 46 companies, because they are your cronies, they shouldn't pay taxes. They should have tax waivers. Why? When everybody else, when the Ghanaian people, the masses, said that don't impose e-levy, you slapped us in the face and even organized a party and baked an e-levy cake, insulted us on top of it. And all of them, the top hierarchy, were at that party. When the Ghanaian people said that, look, we hate e-levy. I mean, Momo is for the vulnerable, the ordinary folks. Don't tax it. They defied us. That's why they have been punished. We have stated that we are the only country, many months after COVID has been declared by WHO as no longer a pandemic. Ghana is the only country that our president continues to tax us. We have said COVID levy should go. They are refusing to abolish COVID levy, refusing to abolish the emissions tax, refusing to abolish the betting tax. And yet they've selected a few crony companies, and in this last minute, midnight, at the death of their administration, when they have been so roundly rejected by unprecedented margins, a margin of over 1.6 billion, you still want to come and smuggle tax waivers. We are not going to accept it. We would not, because we are coming in to remove all of these obnoxious taxes. So we are going to have to deal with revenue shortfalls because of these taxes we are going to remove. The companies who must pay their fair share, you want to select your crony companies, about 46 of them, and make us lose revenue of over $350 million. That $350 million, it can help the new government to establish the Women's Development Bank so that our women can have their capital. That $350 million can help us to implement the no-fee stress so that first-year students who gain admission to our universities will not have to pay admission fees. It can help us to complete the e-blocks. It can help us to complete the Agenda 111 hospitals. Why do you want to deny the new government, the incoming government, of over $350 million in national revenues because you don't want your crony companies to pay their fair share. Look, the only matter we will work with, so far as revenues are concerned, is if they agree with us that immediately we should abolish e-levy, we should abolish the COVID levy, abolish the emissions tax, abolish betting tax. That one they will get our cooperation because we've stated clearly on the campaign trail, it's in our manifesto. And we said in our first budget, the first 120 days, we are going to abolish all these taxes. But any other revenue measure targeted at supporting crony companies, nepotistic companies, how did they select those companies? What criteria was used? And they hide under, we are supporting 1D, 1F. It is not true. They just don't want crony companies to pay their fair share, and we are not going to allow that.
Thank you. All right, 1 minute.
The year can say, Yakwako Tuaba, Ghana for Atu Etia MPP, Omo bad governance. Ede Ahunchiraba, Yenyana Yahuachria, Meno Casasi. Dodona investments in the name of financial haircut. One kasa usika why investment you can't have access to it. Oshe yamai the bia asay the ye hu the bia any attention dream any project. Yaba parliament and there ye de na ye jinse agent matter. You expect to say a better business statement. You be any the budget for the first 3 months. The first 3 months of 2025, so that new finance minister ever presented the budget of the new government to indicate the priorities of the new president-elect His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And the Galamsey matter, amending the airline, those are urgent matters. But to our surprise, no, the Honorable Afenyo Markins and the MPP and Nema Ghana for are rejecting this business of tax waivers. Over $350 million tax waivers, almost selected among companies, crony companies. FSA, Yema, those about 46 companies, tax waivers, or Modia or Montia taxes. Yantiasia, for many months. Ghana for any year on the minority side. Like I said, the issues about your taxes which have to be addressed. Any taxes are a year very obnoxious, nuisance taxes. They said COVID levy. Ghana COVID WHO for declared says no longer a pandemic. Many months ago. Yankwana Yaguswa Yeji COVID levy. Yankwana Yeji e-levy. Betting tax. Emissions tax. Taxes we one who can say move on mine from taxation to production. Mumuna Mabe imposing taxes are kuyen. Businesses are collapsing. Let us rather address that. Ye e-levy, COVID levy, emissions tax, betting tax. Instead, no, Moody more selected more favorite companies, crony companies, about 46. Kase yen supported tax waivers for them in excess of $350 million. Meaning, sa $350 million. Mupese mu deny incoming government, President Mahama government. Imagine what that $350 million can do. Yakasa yeba. Your person establish women's development bank. Sa $350 million. To me abwa. Ama yamba Ghana mba under the first female vice president of the republic, Professor Nana Jokubajo. Ama want to me anya omo capital to expand their businesses. Sa $350 million. To me abwa. Ama ya expand the access in education to abolish double track because to me a completely e-blocks no AC dormitories, AC classrooms. There's no need for this, very detrimental double track to continue. So $350 million. I bet to me a boy, we are buying your hospitals, your hospital re-equipping for more than 10 years. The last time I Ghana, hospital re-equipping, you saw X-rays, MRIs, dialysis machines, more than 10 years ago. $350 million. And the area one said, President Akufo-Addo Baba, Munko in the first state of initiative, or can say tax waivers, a coup on mine, tax waivers in ye. Now tax waivers, as I say, address it. It's a then assessment. Adena why you turn? In this last minute, midnight way, Mope say, Yebe approve tax waivers of over $350 million. And as I said on the floor, they will not get our support. They won't get our cooperation. The only revenue measure, Yebe support you any e-levy, you abolish it. Betting tax, you abolish it. COVID levy, you abolish it. Emissions tax, you abolish it. Adena, taxes are a beboa the ordinary folks. And no dear, mon pese muye huejuma, mon pese mube abolish it. But companies a kukudam, kesia omo award the muscle, the financial muscle to pay their fair share. Omo dear, mon pese omo beti omo fair share. Mo pese mo tax waivers. More selective 46 of them. Say mo be ma omo tax waivers, ma omo ntua taxes. Meanwhile, the masses, yenyana ya pamuchosa say e-levy should go, COVID levy should go. And during the campaign, mo antise baumia eka say COVID levy on support yabeko. Say e-levy obechum. This is the opportunity. Why are you bringing something else? Something that you didn't promise the Ghanaian people. That's something that is not, contained in your manifesto. Something that in your first State of the Nation address, Oka said, tax waivers, deny Ghana revenue and why? Then I say something. Yama firm indication and assurance. Say this tax waivers agenda, and the only business I say this time, but these few days we have this dying moment of the 8th Parliament, and it's one budget so that we can pay workers for 2025, the first 3 months. Number 2, Galamsey, the Galamsey crisis, the LI has to be repealed, and then possibly number 3, the transition. What year Speaker Bagby, the presidential transition bill, and maybe an environmental protection bill. Now we were almost done, but any business out of this, particularly tax waivers, and
Honorable, so more programs, 24-hour economy, and many programs are more any policies. It is too early say because I'm repealing such taxes. Maybe I'm taking more time. I'm going through number one near was a movie and I say it's not more kind during campaign. You want to do that?
No, it's not too early at all. OSHA, your manifesto, Yakase, first 120 days. These are our priorities. These taxes must go because Ghana for okay, Afro barometer. 8 out of 10 Ghanaians, they say this country is in the wrong direction. Ghana for I say 41% of them say unemployment is a big challenge. Omunim and Kofua, they've gone to bed. The whole day. Omonya eduane endi. Ninyana wa Afro barometer. If you look at even the scale of the defeat of the MPP, I want you to we have no excuse. And Ghana for Amaya, the numbers, we have over 2/3. We have no excuse. I can assure you, sir, this matter will receive the urgency. President Mahama would not hesitate at all. In the spirit of the shocking defeat, we showed the scale. And you know, say MVP for a co-position, but we didn't envisage say for the Parliament of Ghana. It's clearly Ghana for I can say look more policies in here. All the corruption, state capture, the tax waivers, state capture. How did they select those companies? What do you say Ghana companies among tax waivers? Mudi Amako selecting my favorite 46. Say over $350 million No, we are not accepting that. They should pay, they have the means to pay. They should pay their fair share. And then Ghana for Dudona or more bread. They don't have anybody to speak for them. Now these nuisance obnoxious taxes, Ghanaians have voted for a reset. And that is what we must deliver.
Finally, for me, maybe sir, in some speaker, you have no business disappointing Ghanaians. Who this huge numbers and for said daunting taxes will be to me deliver Ghana for so when we say to about them.
Ghana for what you say, your mouth to me, the two of them. That's a over now 1 year there. omope man ye de o se wo be ye o de a hand time amaso corruption state capture Ethiopia Ghana for Canal more impunity they will punish you. That is the lesson. That lesson no it doesn't go to only the FDP. Young Krana, as I say, you're taking that lesson even more because they are down and out. They are licking their wounds. But yeah, you what to me. We have to learn those lessons. There's a saying, when there's a fire in your neighbor's house, you look for water put near your beer. The fact of the matter is the Ghanaian people are in no mood for bad governance, for corruption, for arrogance, for impunity. And this is a challenge, and we will rise up to the challenge. I have no doubt, President Mahama, and you will see from the first decision, the appointment of a year, Uncle appointed over 100 ministers as President Akufo-Addo. He will not go beyond the 60. And we will say, very rationalize it, realign ministers, and he will have a very lean government. And that will be the first sign. And then budget or you can envisage, say, budget now will be presented by March of next year. You will see that his priorities, the promises he has made, the taxes, as I say, the pledge to even my people, the victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage by the VI award. First of them was the first 120 days. Obe Pesika are compensated victims, no? As that AC are dying, and then the probes, the Aura operation, recover all loot. These are the reasons why Ghanaians voted for us. Media, I don't see it as daunting, say, because to me, I don't know promise you bet to me, all we will call for is the support of all Ghanaians. And I would also appeal to colleagues, we must now come into government with a new mindset. To say politics in Ghana, and business as usual. There is no safe seat anywhere. When whoever predicted said NDC, but we need Sunyain seats, Brekum seats, or the Okaikwe seats, or the Tema seats. I mean, think about it. There is no safe seat anywhere. Your mouth position, your mouth to me. That's a 1 year. You are gonna. You will be punished severely. And that is a lesson. I expect that to rather inspire us and motivate us to deliver to the satisfaction of the Ghanaian people.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Presentation of the constituency is not just for my party or those who voted, but as usual, as in my previous terms, it's to represent all members of the constituency and to work diligently to make sure that they're getting the best that they can as a constituency. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I can't congratulate you.
Oh, you can.
My mom is sick.
What was that? Yeah, thank you. You just refuse to back down. Only when you know that.
This game. Back down. You're going to be down the mountain. So sometimes, you know the way the guns fight. My way, then he's down.
But don't be back.
Take care, my dear.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Went to shout.
Shake.
I have to make it a point to
That'll be nice.
Yeah, I had to put this on. Hair was blowing on my hair. Yeah, it was very cold.
That's one thing.
Make a statement with your outfit. Oh my, yeah. The man with my mother's name.
Sorry. I told one interview. 2 minutes.
Oh,
make a change as a community. I particularly just about the victory last week. Now, a minute. Thank you so much.
Zanetor.
I had some
we're winning.
What show?
We're winning. Constituency, we're winning one. To me, because all the assembly to be
Yes,
to say, and then the AC,
So, good afternoon. You are a record third-time member of Parliament for Klote Koli. How excited are you about the prospect of representing this great constituency again?
Well, there is a bit of excitement, but there's also that sense of responsibility because my previous 2 terms were in opposition, and this term is going to be as a member of the ruling government. And of course, expectations are very high, and it's also about managing expectations because the reality of where we are is Ghana is in a bad space, and a lot of work has to be done to get us out of this. And it's going to be an interesting challenge, and I do pray that we'll be able to deliver what we promise to the people of Ghana, which is a level of integrity of leadership and, of course, transparency and probity in our governance.
Now, what do you think did the trick for you this time? Because you came up against some very strong opposition. What do you think did the trick for you?
Well, I think at the end of the day, by God's grace, people decided who would be a more genuine representative in spite of the amount of money that was pumped into the constituency, and I believe that's something that happened across the country. And I'm really glad that the voters showed that level of discernment because to my surprise, the amount of money that we saw being thrown around made me wonder, why is Ghana in this mess in the first place if there was that much money? Why wasn't it used to make people's lives better? But I'm grateful to God because the machinations were quite extensive. But I believe that the hard work now begins. Winning is not the end; it's the beginning of the journey of the work that one has to do, and I'm committed to doing so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The person in India, MPP and the NDC Parliament in India. NDC over the left side, MPP 1418, right, and the NDC 1418. Okay, the outgoing for Markins and for the people who are already in Parliament into it, they are already here. Okay, Fontana and Mami and okay, say, and also one of my Libyan also from welfare.
That is the leading house. I have spoken to the leader
Producer in person was a lovely person. In person, a lovely person. Because when you get some judge. So, I'm not interview some judge. Somebody said, for our media, send me a change of money. Yes, but yet, take Ghana for. want to about myself the president and yes about the environment very soon they will be seated it is a right here. Right now, you're watching from the right side where some judge that's where the NDC from so that's where the NDC from here this side which means side one Napo which means Napo which means Napo which means I say Napo that's where the MP from which means I say that MP from this is where the people are seated and I say that NDC I say the NDC from don't say some rounds be 90 be not there also so tama Leon honorable some judge say NDC some judge say it cannot give you power. That doesn't mean say you should the promises now you making you know go by yourself. This is one promises then you come up and go by promises and that means that you will support all Speaker of Parliament Baba Speaker of Parliament Baba very soon. That means very soon. Very soon. Speaker of Parliament about that means very soon. Can't be sitting bed. Sitting because it's here. If they're sitting because that's no matter now is here. The Speaker of Parliament. Baba. The Speaker of Parliament. Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament. But very soon, that means all Babano, see nobody sending the person, Casa, now what the brother is having for us, or the Baba, the Maya, Baba Kachin, and that kind of facility, the episode. The MPs from Akatina, and from the look of the speaker, on one side, the speaker on the side, that's where the MPs are sitting. They are sitting on the right side. Looking at the speaker side, the people are sitting on the right side, the NDC are sitting on the left side. Yes, that's how looking like. If for how you are watching, was it where some judge standing at the speaker side? That's the left. So in my here, to be at the right side of it, that's where the NDC people are seated. What I've heard is very soon speaker about environment in it. They are trying to position themselves well. Some people are trying to sit down. So almost like some so that before Ketiamo, I don't know how come on Yamba. Say KTM, I don't know how come on Yamba. They can say, also, any on number. Yes, Afenyo Markins, so the Afenyo Markins, so if you press on one side, Afenyo Markins, so I'm so back until you say, on my bank, you can say KTM, so the bar, very. Very soon, il va restare c'est showdown in the ABC, and then we see a showdown in the ABC because Ghana need it.
Referendum, government,